What's up? It's getting towards the end of August here, and me and Wendell are heading to Ohio one last time before season starts. We didn't get out. We didn't get out here at all this summer, so we're just gonna be checking cameras, moving cameras, putting fresh batteries in a bunch of cameras. But season's coming up here in about a month for Ohio, so we're just prepping, getting ready for opening weekend. We'll be kind of explaining our thought process, why we're setting cameras up in certain areas, why we're moving them, and kind of our whole strategy going in, leading up to opening weekend. First, stopping at Sheetz. Got about, I think, 6 hours left on the road, so it's a good trek from where I'm at here. I'll see you guys in the woods in a couple hours. Alright, made it to Ohio. I'm going to jump right into it. First spot I'm going to be getting to is a spot that I know really well. I hunted it the last 2 years we've been here, shot a buck back there. We scouted back here, we checked cameras back here in the spring, but there was no sign of the target, of my target buck making it through the season. The last pictures we got of him were like November 2nd, I think, like something like that. We never got any summer pictures of him, but we have some cameras spread out back here. See what I can find here, so let's go. Alright, first camera. I have Tacticam up. There's kind of like a point right here that cuts down, and a trail wrapping around the point, and a trail coming off the top. I've hunted the area one time, saw a bunch of does, but threw a camera up here, and it disconnected a while ago, so I'm gonna check it now. Well, I actually got my cameras mixed up. This is the one that's actually still working. Getting a couple doe pictures and stuff, but I know this trail's gonna get hot here in probably late October to November. Been here and there's a lot of acorns on trees this year. If they're everywhere, it could be difficult to pinpoint them, the deer early season, but last time we had a lot of oaks, which was last year, we got on a lot of deer early season just by looking for the hot feed sign. So that's probably what we're gonna do again this year, opening weekend, hopefully. Well, first bad sign. Got a camera right here, and it's hung over a mock scrape that I actually made last year. And I had intentions of just checking up on it and maybe throwing a camera up on it this year, but someone beat me to it. So that's not good. More and more pressure coming back into this spot. We had this area pretty much to ourselves the last 2 years, but it doesn't surprise me. There's a couple big deer in this area. And I'll bet you this guy has pictures of them in the area too. Next couple cameras I'm checking are way back in anyway, probably another almost 3/4 mile. This is the main drainage I was going to target that big deer in. And we have another camera, same camera, that was up a bit further on the ridge. Someone's got the same idea that we do, but I think I could use this pressure to my advantage here, because if he's coming up over the ridge here and accessing from these cameras, he's gonna definitely push the deer, and they could definitely shift a couple hundred yards over to my camera. But either way, that's not a sign you want to see at all. Camera's just up here. Let's see what we got on there. Not a lot of action on this camera here, but there's one good shooter, and I think we had pictures of him last year. I was thinking about coming in here opening day, but this scrape's not quite, I don't think it's the main scrape down in here. It's not hit as much as I was hoping it would be. All right, pulling off for the second spot of the day. Here we have a camera about 80 or 100 yards off the road. Kind of have an overlooked spot up here, and then just up the road, maybe a half mile on the other side of the road, back in a little ways, we have 2 more cameras back there, so I'm going to be checking these 3. I'm just going to doctor up this scrape a little bit here, and then head on over to the other 2 cameras just up the road here. Hit that scrape with a little bit of DH3. On to the next one. So, the access to this next camera, it's on a hub scrape, but the access is, it's like perfect. You can walk this creek bed in right here. I literally like snuck in here as if I'm hunting. But these last like 100, 150 yards, this creek bottom, it's just clear and just a perfect access. Let me show you the setup here. So, follow the creek bed in. Kill tree is literally right there. Got a camera right there. Over a couple scrapes. A scrape under this vine right here. That was a natural vine scrape. You don't see that. I haven't seen that very often. And then up here, we got another big double scrape right there, right there. Should be money. I'm really, really excited to see what's on this camera. This might be one of the more important camera pulls, because this area is really, really promising for us for early season. Camera's still on, 650 pictures. Not really a lot on this camera. I mean, like in August, it's like late August right now. There's does in here in daylight just about every day, and what's even more promising is all through like March and April, there was just a ton of deer in here, a ton of bucks, a couple bigger bodied deer. For some reason, just in this general area, these deer seem to be wider in here, so we call it the wide spot. We were kind of hoping to hunt it opening day, but I don't know if they're going to be shifted back in here by then or not. Alright, back in Ohio. It's good to be back. Let's get some scouting in. Season starts in about a month. Today is August 25th. Me and Colin are here for this evening and tomorrow to scout. Then we're going to go scout Kentucky too. I'm going to be running this in the woods, so vlog style, GoPro, everywhere else other than the truck. So I'm walking down this draw here down to the bottom. Ben has a cell cam up there on the ridge, and we got pictures of 2 good bucks on there just the other night. The one was a really good buck, so we'll see if we get him on camera down here. Just walking up to this camera. Check this out. The trail is hot, and there's tracks in the scrape. Right here's my camera. Right there's the scrape. This is the same buck that was on camera up on the ridge. This was back July the 16th. He's nice. July the 23rd. Giant. In this bottom, working the scrape. This is a good spot. A lot of deer and some good bucks. So definitely keep it in mind for this early season. Let's go check a couple more yet before dark. Second spot of the evening. Heading out on this spine of this ridge. I'm gonna walk it the whole way back and drop down, and there's this flat that we set up a few cameras on. It's pretty far back there, but it's good access with the top of this ridge like this, and then it gets off the beam path, right off the ridge then. I just kicked up a buck. Still over there. He wasn't real big, but I think there was two that jumped up. I just saw the one that went down the ridge. They were bedded right on this point up here. I was just walking up and I bumped them. I'm just dropping down from the ridge now, heading down this logging road, and I have a camera along it. I put it on video mode, so it should be pretty cool. And then on down farther, there's a flat where it looked like a really good feeding area, and I have a camera there too. First camera set up right here along this road, logging trail. See if we got anything on here. A deer bedded right here. Alright. Maybe this is a bed and not a scrape. Actually, it was bedded beside the scrape. I feel like this is going to be a really good rut spot. Alright, day 2. I'm going back into an area I hunted late season muzzleloader last year and had an encounter with a buck. Went back in the spring and hung 3 cameras in the area, so I'm going to check those, see if there's anything in there worth making a play on for early season. Me and Wendell are splitting up today. We might meet up later, but should be able to cover a lot of ground today. A couple new spots too, so should be pretty good. Well, I pulled the first camera down in this hub system down here. It's over a scrape right there. Camera died back in like April, so it only took pictures for like a month and then it died for some reason. There was fresh batteries in it. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm gonna pull this camera, and because we're not gonna come back here early season. But from here I gotta go way up, so I'm gonna head back there, pull those cameras. Those are 2 cell cameras that both of them quit working on me. Hopefully something a little more exciting than this. So far not really having any luck at all with my cameras. I had my camera on this scrape right here. A really good spot. And the camera was on that tree. I was looking around for it, couldn't find it. Someone destroyed it. I'm literally over a mile back in. But there's some private just up here. That's probably who did it. That ticks me off. Alright, here's the next camera right here. There's this ditch that runs down through this thick clear cut. And trails coming up, like logging roads coming up around the top of this ditch. So it's kind of this pinch right here at the top of this clear cut. I think this camera died. I'm gonna check it though, just in case. I'm gonna probably end up pulling this camera just because of the pressure in this area. Only like 100 yards from where that other camera got whacked, so I don't want to lose another camera. 4th spot of the day, something like that. I was checking cameras all morning. Finally, going to scout a new spot right there. This was a spot that I marked on the map when I was e-scouting before. It's a side ridge. I love side ridges where you can find where it's just off the top and it's a flat
like on a point or a bench or anything that you can find in the topo lines that is a bench. And then this particular spot has a clear cut right beside it. If you can see there, right at that pin is where I want to see if there's any oaks or anything that I could hunt over. Probably put a camera right there. It's just outside that clear cut. Hopefully they bed around the corner there, and then if the wind's right, I could sneak up in there and shoot them when they come over to that flat. So that's the plan. I think if there's a couple good oaks right on that flat, it should be money. I'm hoping it's as good as I think it is. So we're gonna go check it out. I just kicked up a deer. Bedded right in this clear cut. No way. This is looking good up here. I never laid eyes on the deer, but it bounded off, ran straight down towards my truck. This clear cut is like so small, and it's super thick and brushy. You can tell it's right here. There's a ton of sunlight coming into it. So ideal bedding for the deer. I was like, that deer let me come within 15 yards of it. The wind is blowing down the hill, so it never smelled me. I snuck up here pretty quiet. That's crazy. This is the lower clear cut. The one that the bench is on, that clear cut's up there. So that should be the same type of clear cut. So I walked up here to where I had that pin, and sure enough, right where I had the pin is a big white oak. So it should be dropping acorns in probably 2 weeks here. I was looking, and I can see acorns up there. But yeah, they'll start dropping end of September. Well, probably about middle September. So which will be perfect. Right around opening day. I think I'm gonna throw up a cell cam here. It's along this hot trail. There's a bunch of deer droppings. They're bedding close and they're hanging out, which I think will be a perfect pre-rut spot. And I think there'll be a lot of deer around too. There's a lot of acorns in here too. So I'm gonna get this cell cam set up. I made a mock scrape right here. And I'm gonna put my cell cam back on that tree. Should be perfect. Probably come in else from that way or from that way and set up in one of these trees over here. Probably that one back there, that skinny darker one. So that way I could shoot to this white oak and to this scrape. There's plenty of options around here for trees. Depends which way the wind's blowing. It'll depend how I set up, but I think most times it's going to be a west or northwest wind, which is good if they're bedded down there. It'll be kind of a crosswind. If it's straight north, the wind will be perfect. So we'll see what we get on here. Hopefully we get a couple big bucks on here coming to this scrape in early season. It's a good set. Fingers crossed for early season. Checking one more camera for the day. I think that's pretty much my last camera that I have to check. Well, it's Ben's camera, but I was with him when we set it up, and I'm going to check that one. Card was taken out and it was turned off.